Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about the on-paint event in Microsoft Access. This is one of those lesser used events. It's got some cool features and you can do some cool stuff with it, but it's also got some problems, and we'll talk about that in today's video. The on-paint event's one of those things that's been on my list to make a video for quite some time now, but I personally don't use it that often. So it's been kind of sitting down toward the bottom of the list. But just recently, a post came up on Reddit in the msaccess group. And essentially, someone is looking for a way to color the text boxes in a continuous form to his exact specifications. And you can have up to 250 different colors. Now, with conditional formatting in Access, the maximum number of colors you can set up ahead of time is 50. And you can modify that programmatically, but again, 50 is the max. If you need more than 50 colors, you can't do that. You can use on-paint for it. And of course, NR Jins, one of the admins, tagged me in this conversation. So now, of course, I've got to chime in with my 2 cents, right? He doesn't remember seeing it before. On-paint is one of those things that was added in Access 2007. So it is relatively new. I never knew about it before until maybe about a year or two ago myself. And it's a good supplement for conditional formatting, but I'll show you why I personally don't like using it in just a second. Before we get into it though, this is a developer level video, so if you've never done any programming in VBA before, go watch my intro to VBA video. It's about 20 minutes long. It teaches you everything you need to know. It's a free video. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my website. Go watch that first. And also make sure you understand conditional formatting and what it's used for. Traditionally, if you want to change the color of a text box on a form, if it's a single form, you can use VBA. But if it's a continuous form, you have to use conditional formatting. And this video explains how. All right, so here I am in my Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can get a copy off my website if you want to. Now, if you've got a single form, okay, and you want to say, all right, if the state is Florida, make the state background color red, you can go into the code, you can put an on-current event in there and say, if the state equals Florida, set the background color to red. Okay, that works fine in a single form, but not in a continuous form. Because if you change the background color in your code, it changes all of them if the current record is Florida, right? So for that, we'd have to use conditional formatting, which is what my other conditional formatting video shows you how to do. Now, again, the problem is conditional formatting can only have up to 50 events associated with it. All right, so formatting, conditional formatting, new rule. You can add 50 of these. You can add them manually, or you can add them with VBA. It's a little bit trickier. I do cover it in one of my developer lessons, but it is possible. But still, you're limited to just 50 items, regardless. All right, whether you do them manually or in your code. Now, in a continuous form, the detail section, well, every section really, but the detail section is where you want to use it, has an on-paint event. Okay? This event fires every time the detail section is painted or drawn on the screen for every record. So if you got 30 records on the screen, this event is going to run 30 times, and that's one of the problems. All right, let me show you an example. Let's come into here in our on-paint event, and we'll say if the state equals Florida, then state.backColor equals VB red. Otherwise, state.backColor equals VB white. And if. So all of our Floridians show up as red. All right, save it, come back over to here. Let's close it and open it back up again. Okay, looks pretty good. Again, same thing we could do with conditional formatting. All right, scroll down, scroll back up. Notice there's a little bit of a delay there. It's a little bit more delayed than you would be with conditional formatting. And that's one of my problems, is the flicker. In fact, the more records you have on the screen at once, I've got a small window open here, folks. See that, how it's kind of flickering? See? And it's not just every time you scroll. Every time you click, it's got to refresh that whole thing. It probably doesn't show up that much in the video, but I can notice a huge amount of screen flicker. Here, I did a little side by side. Here's 2 different databases. One with conditional formatting, I made Florida blue, and one that I showed you with the on-paint event. Now, I don't know if this is going to come through in my video recording software or not, but when I scroll up and down using the conditional formatting, it's nice and smooth. When I do the same thing over here with the on paint event, there's much more noticeable flicker. And again, it's fast, but the human eye catches it. With the on paint event, there's just a lot more screen flicker than over here, because there's much less flicker on this side. So that's the major reason why I don't like to use the on paint event. But if you can get away with, that flicker, if that doesn't bother you at all, if you're the kind of person that opens up a form and just lets it sit there for a while and you don't really scroll up and down a lot, you can do some pretty cool stuff with it. Like, for example, let's say you want to set up a table that's got all the states in it and their colors. Okay, you could do something like that. Let's create a state table. All right, we got the state, and that'll be short text. And this is one of the only times when I don't use an auto number. I will allow this. You can make that your primary key and just put the 2-digit state abbreviation there. That's one of the only times I allow a table without an auto number in it. All right, and then how about the BG color here? All right, save that as my state table. And then you can put whatever states you want in here with their colors. So New York can be blue. You can use the access numbers if you want. I like using hex colors myself. All right. So for New York, let's go with blue. So it would be RGB. I'll go with that. Florida will make red. Let's do Texas as green. Okay. And whatever else. These are web colors if you're not familiar. And I'll show you a function in a few minutes to convert that over to an access long integer number. All right, but you can add as many conditions in here as you want, right? And Georgia, whatever, okay? You can have 1,000 of them in here if you want to. Doesn't matter. All right, so save that. Let's make a query, and we'll pull together our customer stuff, because in here we just got the customer stuff, right? We got to pull in the state information. So create, query design. We'll bring in the customer and the state. All right, Access should join those together. I'm going to bring in all the customer information and that background color. And if you run this now, you're going to be missing some people, so make sure you make this an outer join, because not everybody has a state, right? You want to make sure you include those null values, like Jean-Luc Picard, right? I'll save this as my customer queue, my customer query, and you can see if you scroll all the way to the right, there's your customer color codes for the states that actually have colors. Okay, now we'll take our customer list and we'll change the record source for this guy from the customer T to the customer Q, and now we can use that background color. All right, so now I can go back to that on paint event, which is in here. Event on paint, right here. All right, get rid of what's in there. Now, in order to utilize that hex color, I'm going to use a function called hex to RGB. This is an example of one of the billions, well, not billions, but lots and lots of functions I've got in my code vault on my website. So I'll just copy this guy here. And I'll just drop it right in here. Normally, you'll put this in a global module somewhere so the whole database can use it. But just for now, I'll just put it right here. Okay, come down to your Detail.Paint section. And we're going to say if the BG color is null, right, is null, BG color, then the state.backColor equals vbWhite, or whatever you want to make it. Else, state.backColor equals hex to RGB of BG color. And that's it. All right, save it, throw in a quick debug compile. Everything's good. We can close that. We can close that. We can open it back up. And there we go. We got all of our colors. See? Scroll down. There you go. Little bit of a flicker, but it's not super bad. I don't want to make it out like it's like, this huge, nasty thing. But it's definitely more noticeable than conditional formatting. So if you need more than 50, or you want an easy way to change this on the fly, this is definitely a good method. And also now your users can easily set up and change these colors too. Let's say you want to add more. Let's add Washington and, I don't know, South Carolina. Close this, open up your state table, right? Put Washington in here. And then South Carolina. Let's go AFF. I don't know. I'm just making up colors. Close it. Open it, and boom, they got colors now. See? You can have as many as you want. And yeah, that on paint event fires once for each record. So it's a lot of code execution behind your form. So I try to use conditional formatting when possible because of that. I will use the on paint event to supplement conditional formatting. You can use it to change things that that conditional formatting can't, because if you look at the list here, all right, take a look at conditional formatting. There's not much you can really do, right? You got bold, italics, underline, background color, foreground color, and enabled. That's it, right? So what if you want to change something like the border color, right? Or the special effect property, make it shadowed, that kind of thing. You could do something like this. Let's watch this here. Let me get rid of, whoops. Let me, I'm going to space these out a little bit more. All right. Give you a little bit different look here. Let's slide that over a little bit and this. Right. Okay. Change up our look a little bit. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Now, let's say that in your on paint event, instead of working with colors, you want to work with the border color. Okay? So you could say if state equals Florida, and again, you can put this in a table if you want to. I'm just showing you here, right? If state equals Florida, then the state dot border color equals VB red. Right? Else the state dot border color equals VB black. Okay? And then take a look. There you go. See? You can't change border color with conditional formatting, but you can change it this way. Or let's say you want to do, okay, let's do this. Make all of these guys, go to format, go to shape outline, make it black standard. And let's do border width down here. Let's set that to 2 points, and let's set the color to black and flat as a special effect. Okay, save it, and let's get rid of this real quick just to see what we got. Okay, looks good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if the state is Florida, then the state dot special effect equals 4. 4 is shadowed. Otherwise, we're going to set it equal to 0, which is just the normal flat. There's a list of these on Microsoft's website if you Google it. It's just flat, raised, sunken, etched, shadowed, and chiseled. I pretty much almost always use either shadowed, raised, or sunken. And you've got to have your border set to at least 2 pixels or else it's not going to show up. All right, and boom, there you go. Look at that. See, that's pretty cool, right? Get that shadowed effect just under the Florida ones, right? And the flickering's not too bad. I can live with it. If you got people on your network with slow computers, though, then they're going to notice that flicker. I got a pretty fast laptop, but I can tell you on some of my slower machines, in years past, I remember that flicker being pretty bad. All right, so that in a nutshell is how the on paint event works. Me personally, I try to use conditional formatting whenever possible, unless I want to change something that the conditional formatting doesn't allow. If you like this stuff, if you like the way I teach, if you want to learn more about this VBA stuff with Access, check out my Access developer lessons. I've got a lot of them on my website. I just released Developer 44, so there's many hours of courses available. And of course, in that Access Developer Level 40 class, I show you how you can manipulate conditional formatting in VBA. We do something very similar. We set up a table, all right, where we can have different events, for example, going to the beach, get a conference, whatever. We can set up a foreground color, a background color for the text and for the box that it's in, right? And your user can pick that and set that up. And then when the form loads, right, the VBA loads into the conditional formatting. Again, you're limited to 50 items, but I think for most people, 50 items is plenty enough. I think in my 30 years of building with Access, I've come across maybe one client who needed more. That's why I was surprised with that post on Reddit, like you need 250 of them. That's a lot of colors, but I get it. I get it. If you want to match the record to exactly what color you want, then that on paint event's going to work just fine for you. But there is your tech help video for today. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member, and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.